This is Patrick with Top Tier Top Lane Guides, and today we're going to be talking about something that is a bit more topical than my other videos, and it's not necessarily time sensitive. It's not patch oriented, and it's something that comes up a lot. But recently, there's been within top lane a lot of people thinking that bruisers are basically unplayable, and that's largely because of Hashinshin and just really him. Complaining about the top lane meta and saying that bruisers can't win, and he's made videos where he talks for 80% of it. He brings in 3 other guest top laners who are usually better than him, and he just bitches while they sit there, and people watch the entire hour, and he gets a lot of money. But he's not wrong in the sense that he's not wrong that bruisers are weaker. All right, but it's not worth 5 hours of content. That content is nonsense. And the other side of that is you've got a group of people who think that this applies to them. And what actually inspired me to make this video quickly, because I was thinking about it, but I'm not particularly interested in topical content. But adapting the patches is something that's really important. And I saw a post on the Summoner School subreddit where a player asked very legitimately, how am I supposed to win certain trades? How am I supposed to win top lane with these champions? And he's playing Renekton and Jax. And the top comments are every comment on there at the time of me posting was basically a defeatism. You can't win. You pick tanks or range champions. That's how top lane is. And it's no, you can, if you're a somewhat competent Renekton, you can still outtrade tanks. You can't face bash them as hard as you could when you had Fervor. That's true, but you can still win the matchup. And the basic, it's not like if you take a guy who refuses to play anything but bruisers, but he's adaptable, he's smart with how he plays the bruisers. That guy's not going to be a challenger player and then get sent to fucking silver because he only plays bruisers. That's not the way top lane works. It's perfectly easy to keep on winning. Now, there's things that are different based on what champions are strong right now. It's not bruiser versus bruiser all the time. Because people have always, in top lane, they've always liked playing bruisers. So, naturally, when bruisers are only a little bit weaker than tanks or ranged champions, in say a competitive environment, they're stronger in solo queue, and everyone's playing bruisers. But now it's okay, I got matched against an autofilled top laner, and the autofilled top laner is debatably stronger than me because even though he doesn't know top lane, he knows he's just playing an Ornn or something, While I'm a top lane main, I enjoy playing bruisers, so I'm going to continue to play bruisers. If you just face bash him, you're probably going to lose again. But if you actually play intelligently, then you won't lose. It might be harder than before, but it's not worth on a subreddit, for example, where people are trying to improve, and we're talking about gold players and silver players. They can fucking improve very quickly to learn how to outtrade and stuff. It's not these aren't challenger players that are against competent players. They're able to learn the game, and they can learn it this patch, and then maybe bruisers will be strong next patch or a couple patches from now, and then they'll have an advantage because they've played in a weakness, and they'll be more adaptable to meta shifts like every league player should be. This defeatism and this willingness to accept popular movements is really a there's a bit of an authority fallacy, but it's not something that you should be trying to get wrapped up in yourself. I watched some of those Hashinshin videos, and yeah, it's fun to have a bunch of famous people, bitch for you, but that's not going to improve you as a player. And just because the meta is slightly harder, and it's not that much harder, just because it's slightly harder doesn't mean you can't play your favorite bruiser champion. You might have to play him differently, but that's a good thing. And it's never an acceptable answer if somebody is on a subreddit asking for help, or asking for help at all in any aspect, to tell him, unless that is indeed the case, no, you can't play those champions. You have to, you can't just tell somebody that their question is is invalid, that it's a non-answer, because we know that a better player can win with a bruiser against a tank. Just because he's the same elo as them and saying, okay, well, a bruiser and a tank of the same elo will win. Well, yeah, what do you think he's trying to do? He's trying to improve. And improving means higher elo, naturally. Like, the higher elo player doesn't have secret runes, right? You don't hit diamond and, like, they give you the fucking secret keystone that makes you deal a ton of damage forever. It's just better concepts, and sure, you might be slightly handicapped, but that's a non-argument to say that you have only a higher skilled player could win this. It's like, all right, then get higher skilled. That's the whole point of this game, right? It's the whole point of improving. It's that, or picking a champion that you're trying to exploit for free low, and then spending all your time learning this champion that's going to be nerfed, and really trying to learn something just because that's what's strong in the meta. It isn't invalid, but there's no harm in learning something that isn't meta right now, because the meta shifts so frequently. Almost every season has seen a time where bruisers are good, has seen a time where tanks are good. It's strange to hear people just saying that they're weak, and they're not weaker than prior seasons. The only reason that this is so pervasive is because it's gone into popular media, right? This is why people have heard it. There have been worse metas for top lane, but people haven't bitched about it as much, because now it's like in the common, like it's trending on our League of Legends or whatever. So that you need to base your opinions off different things than that. And please, if you're on a subreddit like this, like where people are trying to improve, actually give them advice, or don't say anything at all. You can tell them that they are at a disadvantage. You can mention that, but turning it into a fiesta about complaining, just that you can't win, that's completely ridiculous, because you can. And it's very basic concepts, very teachable concepts that let you win this game, or win these matchups.